What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm sure I titled and thumbnailed this video probably on the extreme side of something's wrong with my Duramax or Duramax down or something like that, but unfortunately I'm not clickbaiting because we got issues with the old LBZ. Y'all know this channel is typically based around gasoline vehicles, which I know a lot more about than diesels. This is only my second diesel ever. I'm hoping the title and thumbnail got some diesel gurus to click on this video, so I want to go ahead and give a quick ownership history rundown thus far so that you know everything that I do about this truck. So, 07 Classic, 204,000 miles on it. Now, the guy did tell me that at some point it had injector work done to it. He said new injectors, I think, but who knows? I might actually can find the messages from Facebook and throw it up on screen. If I can, I just did. When we got there, we went over the whole telltale Duramax checks, right? So didn't have any blow-by, coolant was fine, oil level and looks were fine. Already had 4-inch straight pipe and a Banks cold air intake, but was supposedly still stock tune. Had a little haze at idle and crank up. Once we did do a test drive, it felt very underpowered. So I'm talking to Jacob. I'm like, yo, what could be causing this? And he's telling me this, that, and the other. Could be something super simple, could not be. But we ended up getting the price right on what I would say is definitely my dream LBZ. Crew cab, Victory Red, sunroof, fully loaded, dream LBZ, right? So bought the truck. Now, we were in a little podunk town, had like 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, so I didn't get up to very fast speeds, but could definitely notice the power loss. Driving it home, had to do a lot of interstate. Noticed that the RPMs were pretty high. Didn't have a CTS3 or anything like that. Once we got home, we did the whole initial new truck ownership. So I typically do oil changes immediately after buying something, but the oil level is perfect. It looks good, and the dash says it's 95%. So we're gonna leave it alone for a little bit. We are gonna do a fuel filter because the dash says 0%. So either it hasn't been changed in a while or they just forgot to reset it. I mean, that is like solid. Starting to do mods, and we want to, try to tackle the issue of the lack of power. I don't know if I included it in the evolution video. I was playing around with it, and there's obviously a diagnostic screen where you can go in, read trouble codes, clear them, yada, 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 right? Well, I don't have a check engine light, so I wasn't thinking the truck was going to pull anything, but sure enough, it did.
What is this? Fuel temperature sensor, a circuit high.
It's not freaking connected.
I plug that in, take it for a spin, and lo and behold, it immediately is stock LBZ power feeling, shifts, locks up, 6 gear, everything's beautiful. Loving the truck. We fixed it just by plugging a freaking sensor in that the guy that was working on it probably broke the tab and it rattled loose or just totally forgot to plug it back in. Either way, the truck is fixed. So we're doing more mods. We throw the AirDog 165 on there. Literally, we did the lift pump and we connected that thing, and the truck's running great. And I go to check my oil, and it's high. It's overfilled. Not crazy high or anything. And so I'm like, you know what? I just love this truck so much. I'm having so much fun driving it. Let's just change the oil in it. Not really thinking too much about it, okay? Not thinking too much about it. Doing more mods, enjoying the truck. At this point, we've got the Denali reps on it, and we're getting close to lifting it. But we wanted to go ahead and try out the Hot Shots Diesel Extreme to see if we couldn't clean that haze up. It's not nothing crazy, but it was, noticeable haze. Let's try to clean our injectors up. They got some good miles on them, potentially. They could be stock, they could be replacements. I don't know. Depends on whoever did something prior to it. Maybe they didn't do anything. I don't know. We put that in there, and of course, I checked my oil a couple weeks later or whatever. It's overfilled again, and it reeks. It smells very strong like Diesel Extreme, which then the light bulb goes off. Well, that's why you got too much freaking oil. You got fuel in your oil, which then I turn into panic mode. Holy crap, is my truck gonna blow up? What is causing this? All these kind of things. Is the Diesel Extreme gonna blow it up? Who knows? But I go ahead and we burn that tank of fuel out. We've got just diesel fuel in. I changed the oil again, which is the oil change that we currently have now. Now, at this point, the truck's lifted. I'm already starting to not drive it as much because I'm worried, we're getting fuel and oil. I'm not finding good results online. 10 million posts about LB7s leaking fuel because the injectors are inside the valve covers, and when they have a crack or something, they're leaking, it goes straight in, right? Makes sense. Then you got 10 million posts about LLYs having injectors go bad and whatnot, but Not that much on LBZs. There's just a few that I found. One guy is talking about his CP3, or blaming the fuel in his oil on the CP3, and then another guy arguing, saying that's impossible. Even if your CP3 is leaking, it can't get into the engine, like it can't get into the oil. Which I'll admit, I don't know. Is it possible? I don't know. Then there's another guy saying, well, it's probably just the injector injector cups, it's cracked or something. But can it just leak fuel past that, and that's what's getting it into there? Whether it be when it's running or when it's sitting here, prime it, the fuel pump, lift pumps pumping fuel, CP3s right there ripping. I don't know. Let's go ahead and pull the dipstick on the truck, and you'll see pretty quickly our issue. So if we can get this to focus, right there is our oil level, which is obviously high. And it's got a weird green hue to it, right? Definitely not correct. Either way, now, as you can tell, we've got fuel in our oil, and it's making oil, which is not good, because if you keep doing that, you don't fix the issue, you're eventually going to tear up the engine. So we don't want to do that. That's why I've been changing the oil so much in it. Is it making oil when it's just sitting here? Is it making oil when I'm doing these smaller move around things? Like I typically do when I crank it to do a video, even if I'm just going over there, I'll let it warm up. I'm obviously going to watch this video, and hopefully someone is going to have me some concrete answers of what I need to do to fix it. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, the CP3, we're going to say that's not possible. It's going to be injector problem. Is this something we can pull the injectors out and see a crack, see an issue, potentially replace that one injector? I know that's going to be conflicting, because I've replaced a single coil pack and a single spark plug on gas engines, which you can totally do, but people will freak out saying you shouldn't do that. It's going to make the rest of them go bad and yada yada. You totally can. Can you replace just one on here, or is that a no-no? It's probably a no-no, but can you still do it? That probably would be the cheapest thing, but is it something we could even find one? The balance rates, which I guess I should have mentioned earlier, are not crazy all over the place. I'll throw up a picture if I can of them. So it'd be, I guess, kind of hard to find which injector, which I know we could do it. We can replace the injectors. We can get in there. We're just going to have to move 5,000 looms of wire and all that kind of bull crap, but it's doable. My problem is the truck can't fit in the house now that it's lifted, so it's going to have to be out here. If we pull these out to ship off to get remanned, it's going to be kind of exposed to the elements, which I wouldn't love to do that. Or we could really bite the bullet and upgrade, like I said, to some 30s or some 60 overs, and that's freaking expensive. I would really rather not spend the money on that. But if we're going to spend, I don't even know what a rebuild of the factory ones would be. Who knows, these might not even be factory. These could be some Chinese junkers that are in there. Haven't checked. Like I said, blow-by is good. Coolant is good. Little haze at idle. Truck runs perfect, but we're making oil. Please leave me some feedback down below. Let me know, and I'll see y'all in the next video.